New Earth Cosmic Conversations.
First panel show of New Earth Cosmic Conversations. My name is Anrita Melchizedek. I'm the host here with all this incredible group of light workers. Many of us know each other from Facebook, from other social mediums, and it's just such an honor to be connecting with this incredible and those. So we've got Kerry there. Kerry Samadi, welcome Kerry. And Kerry is coming to us from South Africa, Cape Town. So we actually are pretty close to one another. Both Kerry and myself are in Cape Town at this time. So it's really just wonderful to be connecting in person. So welcome, Kerry. And with Kerry there, we've got Yukia, Azora, Sandara. And Yukia and I have also had the pleasure of connecting with one another. So welcome. So very much, I know at the moment, Yukia, you've been in Portugal, but you're in London at this time. Are you there to host some work?
No, I'm just for my grandchild's birthday. You know, the third.
How wonderful!
It's his third birthday, so I'm just here for the weekend.
Okay, how lovely.
Yes.
And then we've got Audrey Light Language. So Audrey also, Audrey and I've also sort of known each other's work for many, many years, and I've had the opportunity to listen to, you know, the beautiful light language frequencies that you also bring through, and it's been an absolute delight and pleasure. So welcome, Audrey. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So feel so blessed and honored to be here with all of you. Thank you for this beautiful creation that you've brought forth. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Audrey. But Lou Martin. Lou lives in Southern Ireland. Welcome, Lou.
Thank you, Anrita. It's great to be here.
Wonderful. I think you were originally from the United States, were you, Lou?
Yeah, Los Angeles.
Okay, all right. I get such a sense of your energy with gnomes and goblins and, you know, all that nature spirit intelligence down there in Southern Ireland, which really also is just a goddess vortex on its own too. So really wonderful kind of energy coming through there. And then we've got Susie Beeler. Welcome, Susie. So I know that you're from the States, Susie?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay. I live in Sedona.
Okay. Oh, lovely. All right. That's, I know we were speaking about Sedona a little bit earlier. Okay. And I've been there too, just quite an incredible vortex or portal, because of course that's the anchoring of the crystalline light cities. And actually that was also really very much connected to the diamond light frequency when it started to ignite and come through quite strongly from 2014, 2015. But I remember in a lot of the initial transmissions I was doing around that time, it was very much connecting into the Sedona vortex and the Sedona crystalline city of light, that the Sedona crystalline city of light also then connected from that into all these other beautiful crystalline cities of light through the primary vortices of Mother Earth. So just an incredible and amazing place to be. Very creative, very divine masculine energy coming through from that Sedona vortex.
Mm-hmm. It's a very intense place.
Yes, I'm absolutely sure it is. You know, I lived in the UK for many years, and we had Glastonbury, or Glastonbury still there. I would say we, meaning me and, you know, the friends that I was hanging out with, would go to Glastonbury on a regular basis. And we really could feel that energy of divine love. You're about 20 miles out from Glastonbury, and you're really kind of feeling it and deepening into that heart chakra energy. So these power points and vortices are really quite amazing. Down here we have in Cape Town, we've got Table Mountain, and that's very much connected into the energy of the base chakra, and also into a rebalancing of the divine masculine and divine feminine frequencies, but a very creative energy as well. It's really quite an amazing vortex, one of several or many, I would say, around the light grids. So what I would like to do on the show together, or rather the intention of us coming together, was just really honoring so many of us with all our incredible gifts and our sharings, and creating a forum where we could truly just come together and connect with one another, network with one another, and also just share this incredible information that we have with one another. I know for myself, and I'm sure for many of us, that life is really busy in its own way. You know, I'm a parent, and between the kids and between work and you know, and every other juggle that we kind of doing and finding that cosmic balance, which often requires time for ourselves too, because it can get quite cosmic. I get so many beautiful messages on Facebook, and if I get even a few minutes to be able to watch someone's live video stream, it's really precious time, and I'm always so excited and delighted. But then, you know, from there, it's moving on to the next thing very quickly. So I felt that there was really just a space that we could come together and really just exemplify as the Light Tribe, the service work that we are doing as one heart. And things are really shifting frequency at this time, as we know, and also so much is going on from a planetary perspective that it's just such an incredibly exciting time of this accelerated consciousness that is being expressed through all of us individually and, of course, collectively through the Light Tribe as the I Am Avatar Consciousness of Light, because that's essentially what we're doing here, is that we are the physical vessels of light, and we're affecting and creating change for ourselves, and we're affecting and creating change for all life on this sacred earth. So these lessons and challenges that we are going through, some of them are really done alone. And now more and more what we're doing is that we're bringing in the support of soul and star family and friends on an earthly level, not just on the inner planes, because so much of this work for a very long time has actually just been connecting on the inner planes. So we've been chatting with people, we've been connecting and merging with the soul clusters, and now it's becoming more of a reality where we're starting to find those soul brothers and sisters in this physical realm, which is absolutely amazing. And this is really just one such platform where we're coming together with our soul brothers and our soul sisters. And this, of course, is such an important time for us too, because it's apart from all these beautiful frequencies being anchored or that we have within ourselves, it's really a time of immense change and new beginnings. And I don't know, but we'll get to every single one of you in a minute. I don't want to take too much of the time myself. But essentially what I'm finding is that new gifts are coming online too, that there's an expansion of the work that we are doing ourselves and how they're shifting and changing in new ways. I know for me, you know, that in the last year in particular, that there's just been a lot more blueprints being activated. So I felt it's really just quite an incredible moment in time to be essentially coming together and sharing all those beautiful gifts with one another. So I'm going to start with you, Susie, and if you could just tell us a little bit about what you do. The focus that we have for today is really on just a deeper level of health and wellness. And when we're talking about this from a fifth dimensional perspective, essentially we're talking about, you know, bringing the activating the dormant DNA. We're talking about the creation of our light body, whether we call this the diamond light body, the I Am Avatar light body. It doesn't really matter at what level that we're moving into. And the healing energy that is igniting more deeply within us, but that we're also utilizing in terms of our own tools. Whether this is through sound, whether this is through color, whether this is through sacred geometry, or even just through our own, you know, the tonal sounds or the axotonal lines or the acupuncture meridian lines, or working with healing beings and core groups, or working with just a whole range of different etheric healing teams. So there's just so much going on and so much that we can be drawn to as we accelerate into the next level of our souls blossoming along this path of divine love. So it would be really nice to just have a look and see what you guys have been doing. So we'll start with you, Susie.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm just so honored to be with each of you. And just a logistical note, it would be a better quality live stream if when you're not talking, you mute yourself.
Yes.
And so if you can figure that out, for those of you who have done Zoom before. Thank you again. My specialty really is working with ultra sensitive empaths and helping them live their life from a place of soul alignment and creating their life from their soul desire instead of living a life of obligation and being in environments that are harmful or overwhelming, really teaching them how to take care of themselves. And so with this theme of health and wellness, what I really want to share has a lot to do with those practical things of actually caring for the physical body. Because in order to receive those fifth dimensional frequencies and beyond, in order to integrate all of that, we have to prepare the physical body first. And those of us who are super sensitive, whether it's a sensitive nervous system or a sensitive body, all of those, all of those things can cause overwhelm if we're not exercising self-care, if we're not eating well, if we're not hydrated. And so some of the things that I talk about are very practical. So if you've heard me speak before, you know that I talk about getting out into nature, getting those nature signatures and energy signatures from nature because they're naturally balancing for the physical body. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Eat pure food, fresh food, clean food, food without the programming of GMOs and pesticides and insecticides. For some of you, this may be common knowledge, but for some of you, this may be, something that you really need to step up and start implementing in your life so that you can prepare your physical body to receive and integrate those higher frequencies and those more nuanced light codes that are coming in now. And nutrition and hydration and nature, all of that is great, but the crux for all of that to work is to do your inner work. And so what I mean by that is being able to look at your shadow, being able to look at the darkness within you, any areas in your life that are where you have stuckness or stagnant energy, those parts about yourself that you may not really want to look at, you may not really want to address and see. Those are the things we can no longer hide those things. With the energies that are coming in now, there's no sweeping under the rug. There's no pushing it aside. It is all coming full blast into our awareness. And it can be quite overwhelming if you're not used to doing your inner work, if you don't have those muscles developed. It can feel really overwhelming and chaotic, and your body might get sick. But when you're willing to look at what's going on underneath the surface, the body can heal very quickly. As you mentioned, Anrita, this is a time where the healing codes are really strong. Our DNA is activating our internal healing codes. So it's possible to move through this with a lot more ease and grace if you're willing to do the inner work. And so that's really where I can provide support and assistance. I have an online membership site called the Creation Temple, creationtemple.com. And the master creators and I meet every week, and we're working on these things. We're working on activating our DNA. We're working at transmuting our shadow. We're working, we're doing the inner work. We're also not just the inner work for ourselves, but in each of those gatherings, there are beautiful templates that are sent out into the collective. And that's something that's so powerful, even though we can't necessarily see it, physically, how that's working. We know that in those gatherings, there's a tremendous amount of beautiful energy and templates and healing codes being sent out to the collective. So whether you're a part of it with us physically or not, you're still receiving the benefit from us meeting every week. And I just think that's I'm so honored and humbled and blessed to be able to facilitate something like that, because it really is healing for us as individuals and for the collective. And so there's so much opportunity right now just to really hone in and look at yourself. And it's not just looking at your shadow and transmuting that. It's also allowing yourself to see the light that you are, the love that you are, allowing your spiritual gifts and talents to emerge. Just recently, I had this desire to watercolor. I've never watercolored in my life except, playing as a child. And I love taking sunsets here in Sedona. During monsoon season, the sunsets are just beyond amazing. And so I have all of these pictures from, past years of sunsets that I've taken. And I'm like, I want to watercolor the sunsets. And so I've started doing that. And people are like, oh, Susie, you're a natural and this is really good. And I'm like, really? like, it's just something I want. Like you said, new gifts are emerging. I thought of that because it's just something I wanted to do. And that's my invitation to you. If you want health in your physical body, if you want health in your life, to follow those desires. Those desires are what's going to lead you into health. When you follow your heart, your soul, when you're, on your soul mission and you're living your soul mission, even if you're not yet living it, just starting to follow it, that's going to lead you into your health and your well-being. And so that's my invitation for all of us here and for all of you in the audience, to really like feel into your heart, get quiet and feel into your soul. What does it want? What does it want to express through you? What is it asking you to express? And follow that and do whatever it takes to implement it. Don't push it away. Don't ignore it. It's a voice that's going to get louder and louder until you listen to it. And you may not hear it right away at first, but when you make that commitment to really hear it, it's going to keep talking to you. So I invite you to listen to that voice, and that will lead you into your health.
Absolutely beautiful, Susie. And really that is essentially what it is. And I feel for many of us, actually, the way that we worked is really bringing our focus to something that we were really good at for quite a long time. For example, for me, it was channeling. That was essentially my gift and my greatest passion. And of course, it's still a large part of my life, but in a different way now, because, as I found my own gifts expanding, what I was able to look at was really just finding a balance that actually brought a focus to every area in my life, rather than just bringing a greater focus or a larger focus to one area and not creating or being able to find the time for those other areas. And, part of that is also deepening into divine presence, because the deeper that we are connected to our soul light, the more not only do those gifts amplify, but the more time there appears to be in that no time, which is actually a little bit contradictory in its own right. But really, essentially, as these templates are coming online for all of us, these new earth templates, if you would like to call it, just deeper levels of how to live an extraordinary life, how to experience incredible levels of passion and purpose and health and wellness and vitality. And it's just absolutely incredible moments in time. And I know for me, which was last year, August, I had the sense of coming home, the sense of merging and integrating a deeper level of the soul energy within my body. And I kind of went boom. And here I was in this physical body. And yet I saw for so long how I'd actually been ungrounded. I was always saying I would absolutely love to spend more time in the kitchen. I'd love to cook that, or I'd love to do that. I'd love to do the watercolors, or I'd love to make this, healing sprays or essences. But it was always, I don't have this time. And then suddenly my whole life just shifted in terms of actually just taking a step back and saying, all right, well, what you're doing right now is what's going to change to create this time. And really deepening into new levels of passion and new levels of joy, but also levels of trust and surrender. And looking too at the diet being an important one. And I feel, what you're talking about is on two levels, because there are a lot of souls that come through from that level that you're talking, just in terms of physical health and wellness and vitality and really looking up to the body, but they haven't done the inner work yet, or they still, at that stage of just moving in there, but it's still something quite new and, really to be a little bit more deeply explored. And for many of us as awakened souls, really it's the other way around. We've been sitting in that spiritual realm for so long that we're now bringing it down into the practical realm, into being more grounded, into being more centered, into feeling it, our bodies. And it's like, hello, beautiful body, are you mine? How are you doing today? And finding new ways.
I believe it has to be both, taking care of the spiritual body and taking care of the emotional body and the physical body. If we want the health, if we only focus on one area, we're going to get out of balance. And I would just quickly love to speak to that thing about time. It's our responsibility to make the time for ourselves. If we don't, then the body gets sick, and then we're forced into making the time, be proactive and do it now instead of waiting until life, does it for you. Because it's a lot more easy and graceful. Trust me, I've been there. If you're proactive in doing it now up front, rather than letting it catch up and then life has to take care of it for you. And real quickly, for those of you who are struggling with an overwhelmed nervous system, overwhelmed body, I do have something on my website that could be helpful. It's like a meditation activation for the nervous system to help soothe it. And if you go to susiebyler.com/gift, you can find it there.
That's wonderful, Susie. And I know so many of us are energetically sensitive souls. So that's really just quite a beautiful thing. And that's also why, a lot of us sit with extra weight, if you want to call it, is really just, that pattern of energetic sensitivity and, having for so long absorbed and taken on so many feelings and thoughts and emotions, and now actually just holding that energy of ourselves in such a way that we're transmuting it on much greater levels. So of course it is on every level, coming with that spiritual alignment and moving the body. And I'm absolutely loving this new sense of feeling into the physical body and communicating with the body and feeling different areas, even just moving the jaw, moving the body, moving the muscles. It's like muscle memory is shifting with that. And, if I can just give one small, incredible exercise there, as much as possible, walk in and squeeze everything in, because we forget to do that. But actually what's happening here has got so much to do with muscle, shifting consciousness. It's not just the cells, it's the muscles and the bone in the experience of the creation of the light body. So if you can walk around, apart from shimmy, shaking, moving the body, just take the time to contract, pull in the tummy muscles, pull in the vaginal, the anal muscles, hold it as long as you can, and actually just find areas of the body that you can actually retrain the muscle into the spiritual light frequencies, or entrain them rather, because that's essentially what's happening. That's wonderful, Susie. Thank you so very much. Wonderful. Good. Lou, what wisdom are you going to share with us?
Well,
I know that, sorry to interrupt you there, to just say, I know that every morning, I think it's most mornings, you do a Facebook in connection with the Light Tribe, and, just joining in and sharing your magnificent light that way. And I was lucky this morning that I happened to be on at the time that you were live. And it was just so lovely to tune in and listen and to, just be with you in that one heart of your sharing. So please tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, thank you so much, Anrita. I want to build on what Susie said. A lot of what she said is really my work, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity to reconnect with her and to meet all these new friends here today. And I just want to take a moment and say that your channeling, Anrita, has meant so much to me over the last few years. So it's really an honor to be here with everyone, especially yourself, my friend. This is our time of awakening, of coming together, of supporting each other, of helping each other to listen to, trust, and follow our loving inner guidance. Our passion is our purpose. A lot of what I channel from my higher self and my guides is very much what Susie's just touched on here. I've had I had an awakening 30 years ago when I was meditating, and I had a Kundalini awakening during meditation, holding on to a little piece of quartz crystal. And I had the energy shoot up my spine. And from that moment forward, it was a different story. And here we are in August with the 32nd anniversary of the harmonic convergence. So this just seems so magical to me today. I really just need to put it all in a bit of context to be invited to come out and play in this wonderful way here with everyone. I tend to work mostly with women, and I tend to work mostly with very conscious spiritual women who are looking for support in their lives to take their power back. And again, it's so much with what Susie was saying here, and I'm sure what other people will say as well. The rule book from my guides is that we've all grown up with is that men are allowed to be angry, but can't be sad. And women are allowed to be sad, but can't be angry. And this is where we have lost our center, lost our connection. So a lot of my work is helping women be in touch with their passions, their truth, their worth, their power. And some of that is a good encouragement to express and release anger, because the unexpressed anger, the denied anger, feelings of disempowerment or not being worthy or not being good enough, when we don't express those emotions in a healthy way, in a loving way, in a safe way, not encouraging violence and fighting per se, but if we don't have that energy cleared in our bodies, like you're saying there, Susie, then it just gets thrown back into our cells, into our unconscious, and it really is very corrosive and destructive to being able to listen to, trust, and follow that inner guidance. So when people feel safe, loved, and supported, then they let go. We let go of whatever we're holding on to that is no longer serves us. So, you know, as we've said here about pain and fear and resistance and the shadow, when we are in pain and fear, we constrict and contract, and the energy is drawn deeper inside of ourselves. And that's the denial that we've all been living through for a long, long time. As the energies of the planet get higher and higher, then, you know, we're being asked to, as was said here, face our shadow, integrate, come into wholeness. The phrase I like is to be holy, is to be whole, and acknowledge all the different parts of ourself. Authenticity is, you know, the theme, the focus, the work that every one of us is committed to, working on, surrendered to, struggling with, you know, all the above in our human way. And so, yeah, what the work that I get to do is, you know, both doing the sharing other people's channel material and then channeling my guides as well. And I've been doing that for, you know, the better part of 30 years now, and studying with other teachers whom I love as well, like Patricia Cota-Robles, Lazarus, Oren and Daben, Abraham. So these are all great sources of inspiration to me. And yes, there's no doubt we are living in the most powerful time in human history. And everything on the planet is going to change. And we all bravely and foolishly signed up for this excitement. And, you know, nobody knows what's going to happen next, but we all know, okay, I have my connection to spirit. I have my connection to my guides and my wisdom, my higher self, soul and spirit. That's what I principally work with. Yeah, the door is wide open for all of us to really step into our passion, our power, our purpose, all of that. So, you know, I really am just genuinely, truly amazed, humbled, excited, thrilled, overwhelmed, you know, every day like everyone else is. But I do see, and I'm sure we're all seeing this here, that the hunger and thirst for wisdom and knowledge on the part of the people that we're all blessed to work with and to connect with is just going up and up and up. And people are really a lot more willing to find their own personal truth. And as the political and the social, you know, creates its own little cosmic storm in our lives day after day, people are really working on being grounded in their own personal truth and in our values of integrity and honesty and responsibility and being trustworthy and learning who is worthy of our trust and who is not worthy of our trust. So these issues are so important and dynamic. And of course, the other thing that I've learned from Lazarus for 30 years is here I am, the one guy, very blessed with all the lovely ladies. And it's usually that way for whatever good reason. But this is the return of the divine feminine, of course. And so Patricia said recently, Patricia Cota-Robles, that, you know, she's returning, her energy is returning to us through our open hearts, through our humility and courage, through our authenticity and commitment to follow the truth. And as that happens, then the world really is beginning again. So, you know, there's so much that we have to share with each other, to learn from each other. And then the other part of it is, of course, with this August, there's a big activation, I believe, happening with the younger people on the planet, with the 18 to 30-year-olds and the children who have not had the same level of karma and forgetfulness that we've all been moving through since the convergence. So I expect things are going to really start rocking after this month, and I'm excited about that as well. So that's kind of where I come from.
Lovely, lovely, Lou. And, you know, really actually there as well, that sense of coming through and embodying in the divine masculine energy, holding, of course, the divine feminine. I think for many of us as women in our relationships with men, there's still a lot of healing from past relationships. And of course, many of us have done that work. But to be in a place where you feel really safe and accepted and valued, as you're saying, holding that space, particularly for women in holding the reflection of the divine masculine for the divine feminine and coming together as the union of hearts, is just so healing and accelerating into the next level of magnificence and light, because it's saying you're worthy and you're seen and you're heard and you're so greatly appreciated. And of course, it's just shifting then the collective consciousness between the war of the sexes and the power and the control issues and a lot of that old energy too. But a very, very powerful way to be working and holding that space as this loving heart, as this open heart. And so much is indeed happening with the children. I'm doing a lot of that work too with the angel souls for parents and children, and I'll certainly chat a little bit more about that too. But it is starting to ignite, and I feel really from next year in particular, there's just going to be so many more of us that are just going to come through to hold the codes for the children, because essentially they're waking up to their magnificence and light as the next level light workers. But a lot of them have also just zoned out, switched off, or moved into kind of alternate dimensions and realities, not feeling supported. And of course, a lot of those lower dimensional frequencies, whether it's vaccinations, bad food, TV, PlayStation, everything that kind of just takes them deeper into unconsciousness, is very much alive at this time on the planet. So a lot of that too is shifting and changing. And it's just a really amazing time where so many light workers are actually just also choosing to step forward to be parents, which is something new. I know for me personally, I actually hadn't imagined I would be a mom, but there we go. So beautiful. It's holding that and as creating the flame with the divine mother energy. So thank you very much for that.
Sure. May I say one more thing, Anrita? So my guides say you have, just to finish the masculine feminine, we have a mind and a body, and that is the obvious part of us. That's where the ego gets focused, but we are our soul and spirit. And so as the feminine and the masculine love, respect, honor, and support each other, and recognize that we need each other energetically and on every other level, then there will be absolutely this new wave of consciousness that will begin to really sweep the planet, where there isn't this competition, seduction, manipulation, control, struggle of power and powerlessness, victim and victimizer. All of that, is getting moved aside, and I'm excited about seeing that as well.
And as we know too, it's not that if you have a female form that you hold the feminine energy, or if you have a male form you hold the masculine energy. We both have the divine masculine and feminine spirits within us, regardless of gender. But we are just talking from a three-dimensional perspective in terms of the dynamic between men and women, more specifically. But of course, really, it's just been an open heart and having the courage. We are so courageous. We've chosen some incredibly deep lessons, and some of them have been absolutely devastating, to know and remember ourselves as love and to hold that flame of love as these master beings, as these sons and daughters of God. So it really is now the time where we no longer need to choose many of those karmic lessons, that we can just actually, what I'm experiencing, there is not only the coming together of soul brothers and sisters on this earthly level, but really just a new level of merging energetically with the soul clusters, which is really quite an interesting one. It's really just, kind of my energy, but my energy in a collective frequency, which is another level of bliss moving through the body with Kundalini activations, tantric activations, and it's just an incredible experience. So I look forward to that too, to see how it's unfolding for all of us through the collective I am avatar consciousness of light.
Yes, my last quote for you, and then I'm happy to hear from everyone else. My guides say, here's the question: how good can you stand it?
How
good Can you stand it? Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So now we're on to Audrey. How are you doing, Audrey? All right, you must unblock yourself. Sorry, unmute yourself.
Yes.
And I'm just putting on my plug. I'll be back now. I'm listening to you.
Hello, beautiful one. Can you hear me now? Because they said the host had muted me. So are you good now? Can you hear me? Beautiful.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, beautiful one. I am so excited to be working with you. As you said, we've always been in each other's field, but we hadn't connected. And so excited that you are doing years and years ago what they had said to me when they had first levitated me and bring me on board, unite the lighthouses. Yes, it is so needed. And so now, after 4 or 5 years witnessing all the lighthouses coming together, thank you so much to shine their lights, you know, and to be that community of support for everyone who's been out there individually shining their lights, you know, and as the cells come together, right, all the different beautiful individual cells to make a new organism, right, which is this new that we are creating on a multiple of ways, right? So it's just this representation of all those cells coming together, right, to build this new creation. I love, yes, what beautiful Susie was saying, because the work that I'm doing is about all of the bodies, because we're a soul, right? To step into remembrance that we are the soul, eternal beings. We are creator beings, remembering that we were playing in a game of forgetfulness, an experiment of forgetfulness, to see what would we be if we forgot that which we are. And that is all the experiences that we have walked through to add to not only hold it in a concept, but the experiential experiences that we walk through to add to the depth of that, the taste, the breath of knowing it from the depth of that, yes? So my work is working on all the bodies for the totality of healing, because we are souls, etheric, mental, physical, emotional bodies, right? And I love then what Lou was also saying about the male and the female, and then where you bring it back to as well, the understanding that at this level, right, of beingness, the new way of being, we are the male and the female, right? Both of them as if they have representation of the marriage of the bride and the bridegroom, yes, as they speak of, yes. So that marriage of the bride and the bridegroom is as that male and female energy within us balanced, and that is the new way of being, understanding that whatever physicality we are zipped up in, yes, and expressing through that within ourselves, we are the male and the female. Yes, these are times my work that comes through is saying to follow the umbilical, which is the lifeline, back to the womb of the mother. There you have the feminine, yes, to be rebirth, right, reborn, transformed, transfigured, resurrected as this new being who is standing balanced, the male and the female energies, right, no longer part of the old stories that we played in that were birthed forth of that forgetfulness of ourselves, but now to definitely stand into the integritous beings that we are. Remember we're creator beings, and look around, that's what we're doing, right? We're being creator beings, standing in remembrance that that is what we are now, and going forth and creating the new and coming together in community to support each other. Because when you do look out there into the world, you know, sometimes if people are very immersed in this world, they only know that this is going on, these beautiful things, this new wave of the new. But when you turn around and look back, there are still many who have no awareness of this whatsoever, not an inkling, you know. So we have come in to move creation itself, consciousness itself, whatever name you want to say, God, the field, prime creator, yes, whatever you're comfortable with, the nameable and the unnameable, right? All names and no name. We are moving that creation, that point, because that is the first point that went forth to know life, life to know life, life to experience life, yes? And that is what we're doing. Portions of that, aspects of that. So now in these times, moving consciousness on an evolutionary journey, creation itself on an evolutionary journey. And we are all beautiful sparks of that, assisting in this consciousness journey and standing in remembrance of what we are. So as my work says, we are the shiny, golden, triumphant ones, yes? Even in the midst of all that we have been through, we were able to remember ourselves, right? Put that member of your body back on, like a member, right, that was lost or forgotten, put back on, you know? So it's so important to have this support for us as we are going forward and doing this and creating the new. And as the shiny, triumphant, golden ones, we go down in the book of life, yes, as the successful, triumphant ones, and we close the book on the old, and we're writing the new, you know. So this ground has never been, you know, there was nothing there. We are creating it as we're going. So for many, it feels unstable. What's happening, what's going on. So it's beautiful that you're doing this, right? Finally, the uniting of the lighthouses for the support of us as we go forth and do what we're doing, right? And help the others who are just beginning to understand or realize what's going on. So nurturing of them, nurturing of ourselves, right? On the multiple bodies, mental, physical, emotional, etheric, right? All those bodies. And we all assist each other, right? Because we're all creation, building a new creation. And that is so wonderful. And the work that I do is with the languages of light, bringing through the fairies, the ancient ones, the galactics, working on the DNA, the multidimensional DNA, speaking the language of the Akash, to rewrite the Akash, because we're going to the new, right? New creations, new writing. And now it's a sacred key numerical codes that I bring through. It's a number language because it's coming through in numbers, because even symbols can be contaminated and other such, or open to preconceptions, right? Or ideas, or the filters, or belief systems. So numbers are the packets and pockets of building everything, sacred, geometric, and everything. And it comes in the purity of the number, right? So it's out of the filter, right? Out of being able to be contaminated anyway. So this number language is coming through and settling into the system, the codes, the fields, and it's beautiful to assist so many people who come with their own personal list of codes, and then the codes being downloaded to them. And and this gentleman, Lou, actually, I heard him say the other day, I looked at him quickly, he popped up and it was like he was saying whole and holy. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's what has been coming through my writing for years. Again, exactly. Remembering, right, our holiness by bringing ourselves together, all the fractalization individually, collectively, and all that is, that went out to explore everything, back together, right, to that wholeness and that holiness, you know, of ourselves, which we always were, but we were playing, forgetting, experimenting. And now we step into this, you know, to go forth and create anew. Because look how successful we were creating. We created so well in forgetfulness that we didn't even know, right, what we were doing. But now we're coming to remember that, because we're such powerful creator beings, and we're assisting the other ones out of that as we go forth to create the new. So thank you all for being here and what you were doing. It is so exciting and so important. You know why? Because creation itself is excited. Because this is not looping in the same, which eon upon eon upon eon has been being done, right? With the stuckness that was never meant to happen, but got stuck, right? So we come to assist getting out of that stagnation of the stuck, of the loops and the belief systems, right? We cut that, we go forth and create the new. No more looping. Existence itself is excited because this is new that has never been done. Not a loop on an old, which they call new. No, new means new creation. Awoken means truly awoken, yes? And being these integritous, beautiful creator beings that we are, and going forth and creating the new with the light, which is what we are, right? Light, creation, consciousness, painting a beautiful new picture, as Susie was speaking about, right? Yes, in our individual lives, we're painting, we're creating, we're part of the collective assisting, and painting the picture at that level of source and creation itself that we are, right? Beautiful hues, H-U-E, right? The hue, the color, the light, the sound, the fragrance, right? Of creation itself that all of us are. So thank you, beautiful ones.
So lovely, Audrey. So much, so descriptive of our collective journey of light. And, you know, I know that Patricia Cota-Roble said that we moved off that wheel of karma into the spiral of forward evolution, the time of that first harmonic convergence that Lee was talking about, and that was in 1987. So we're no longer needing to, you know, repeat those old patterns or old loops as you're talking about it. And we really are just, you know, deepening into the next level of our souls blossoming and that next level of our souls forward evolution. And it's completely new territory, isn't it? You know, operating fifth dimensionally, sixth, seventh dimensionally, or multi-dimensionally, let's say, because of course it certainly doesn't stop at the fifth dimension. It's like way beyond that. Is so completely different to being, you know, in a third dimensional reality, and everything is vibrating and everything is connecting and talking and communicating. And it's just an absolutely incredible coming together as you talk about it. You know, what made me smile there too is that, you know, look at often some of the good things that were created in unconsciousness, and yet as conscious beings, just look at what we're co-creating and just know that potentiality, that highest potential that's just unfolding. And of course, beyond that is really listening to the universe and knowing that the universe has a divine plan. And how can the universe actually be wrong at all? So it is indeed the universe just extending that love, and we're feeling it in every subatomic particle, and just feeling that increased light within our own bodies and through the collective consciousness, through the unity grid, through the connection to our own beloved I am presence, soul, star family, star beings, light beings, angelic beings. And those numbers, 111, we have that whole gateway coming up next Saturday that you and I are actually going to be doing a telewebinar transmission with too, for the eclipse there on August 11th. So that's, we've got the 1111 and all these numbers, they're angelic numbers. I think for at least the last couple of years, I'm sure with so many of you, just the numbers are coming up all the time. 555, 222, 333, 444, 111. It's just really just amazing, because I still get so excited when I just happen to look down at my computer screen and there's, it's just got whatever it may be, 2222 or 1111 or whatever those numbers may be, because it's just such a confirmation of all these incredible beings working with us, but at the same time it's a trigger into the dormant DNA, or in fact into the DNA that's already activating, integrated levels of activation through the numbers. And I know that this is a new gift, Audrey, that's been coming online for you recently. So I look forward to that tonight, experiential transmission of hearing a little bit more of those numbers coming through. So numerology is such an important part to, like the sacred geometry, like the light language, like the other codes that are coming online. So an amazing, amazing gift. Thank you for sharing. And Yukia, you also just have these absolute amazing, incredible gifts. I know, apart from your light language, which I absolutely love, I've had the pleasure of hosting Yukia here. Well, actually not hosting, just getting together rather. Should I just say, two beloveds meeting and connecting and just sharing ideas and knowledge and wisdom. And apart from absolutely loving Yukia's light language, it was also just amazing drawings that you do, just the galactic star language that we actually have with one another. Just absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing gifts. So it would be lovely to hear a little bit more about that. You'll have to also unmute yourself. All right. Maybe I can unmute you if you would like. Or you go, all right. Unmute. Let me unmute you. There you go. I don't know why you are still muted. Can you not unmute yourself, Yukia?
Okay.
All right, there you go. All right.
It's been so heart-opening to hear all your, all your journeys, basically, and I've certainly been in a journey for a while, and it all started really with an awakening, and I call it a changeover, because there was a changeover of a soul, one leaving, one coming in, and a Kundalini awakening, very much the same experience probably that Lou you've had. And that was 2002, and since then it's just been a crazy roller coaster, I call it. The call to action came in very strongly. Many gifts came at the same time, and it was actually overwhelming, because the languages came, and it wasn't just one language, it was many languages, which was highly confusing for someone starting at that time. And then having to sift through the languages and to actually feel into them, and requesting assistance from those elders and those facilitators out there that had been going through. Patricia Cotter-Robles was one of them, Alu, to assist, Aluna Yakin, another one, and great help to actually discern, be able to discern what was coming in clean, what was not, and clear what and transmute what was not serving, really. So there were a few years of with about more or less 3 years of integration. I call it the integration phase. Ancient languages, all the ancient languages first, and then moved into the light languages, and then many light languages. But together with this was a call for action on a planetary level. So I have spent 15 years of my life with my luggage. The call for action to go and work on the asexual lines, on the transmutation of doorways, and on the closure of stargates, opening of stargates, on the clearing of ley lines, of the manipulated ley lines around the world, and the conservation and the preservation of the original blueprinted ones was the mission, basically. So that was the main focus. And it took me to many, many parts of the world. And at the same time that this was the mission was also to collect parts of my versions that were in higher frequencies, but that through inner work, I had to sync and align with the country, learn from the language and the culture, and go through that mystery school together and exchange and get the codes. Basically, at that time, I didn't call them codes, but it was receiving the codes that were aligning and sinking into my DNA, so that I could understand who this being was, who this new soul was, which had a higher frequency than the other one. It wasn't a soul that was foreign to me. It was a soul that was part of my soul group, but with a higher frequency. And so I had to get to integrate that, but at the same time work on myself, work on do the deep inner work, the deep shadow work. So learning through experiencing, basically. And of course, during those years, I'm an activator and a spontaneous transmitter. So if you give me a script, I mess it up. But if I am on the spot and I am transmitting in 5 minutes, that is where the wisdom comes in. That's where the knowledge comes in, and really not initiating things, but responding to things. So taking a back seat and place myself in a context and holding that energy in order to respond when required, either by Mother Earth itself. So the response would be directly to Mother Earth, which was a part of the work, or to those that crossed my path, where we exchanged wisdom and knowledge. And during those 15 years was really this simultaneous balance between these two, but a neglect in the physical body. So when I was listening to you, Susie, the neglect on the actual physical body, the mental body and the physical body. The emotional body had more understanding of where it was, because of all the shadow work that took place, all the trauma work that had taken place, all the tapping into fields of consciousness that were in past parallel lives, multidimensional lives, and actually awakening to remember those vividly, all of it. But then the body, just like you mentioned, and Anrita, did not accompany this. So there was no calibration of the physical body. The body started getting weak. There was no grounding whatsoever. And so in 2014, I slowed down, consciously slowed down, and realized that this was what it was needed. The grounding, I was called to ground the energy on Mother Earth, to be still for 1.5 years, and to just work on also grounding the new gifts that were pouring in, which was all the templates, a series of templates that were coming in at the same time. And all the written language that was coming in with not only language, but symbols and mathematical equations and sonic activations. So this was happening, and the grounding in the body, the healing of the body, because the body did not get its healing during those years, its proper time. I never made proper meals. You know, I didn't take time to cook. Like just like Anita was describing, it was such a similar journey that I took the time to integrate that, and obviously was assisted by two beautiful beings, one in the inner planes and my guides, and one in this physical plane that walked with me during those 15 years and had the wisdom of the body. So, and through body talk, really getting into to know how this machine, how this thing works, how this consciousness, how can I ground this consciousness with all the presence that I am, you know? So that was challenging, but a beautiful journey. And for a year and a half, really not sharing, not really placing anything outside myself, except going in and integrating the templates that were coming in, all the holographic frequencies that were coming in.
So you offer right now, you are offering what exactly?
So right now, over the years, I've worked as a transmitter of information and doing light language activations and working with awakened souls that were already on the journey. So that was the first part of my walk. At the moment, since 2014, I have been working with star seeds. So the star seeds, that group that was mentioned of the young ones from 29 to 35 and younger kids that are from 8 years old to 16 years old, and they are magnetized by the energy. They know that this is where we have to go, you know. So, and it's about
feeling and experiencing light language.
Experiencing light language, but also grounding and doing the inner work. Because what I have found was that most star seeds, just like me, you know, during those years, they were really awakening to their gifts. They were bringing their gifts. They were transmitting information. They were seemingly doing their work, but they were not going deep. They didn't know how to navigate. So with the experience that I had, because I had to go through it so that I could share it with, so I take them through the shadow work, through exactly what Susie and Lou as explained, to ground the energy, whether in the beginning that was not what I was doing. But now, so I work at multiple levels, awaken the gifts, awaken the light language and the artistic capabilities or potentials that they have, and at the same time ground the energy by working, allowing them and taking them through that inner journey to return to their essence of who are they, who are, you know, that's what is their purpose and why are they here and loving to be here, because most of them didn't in the beginning, you know, they just wanted to return home, you know.
Yes.
So so I work with groups and I work with individuals, and I run workshops also directed at of course, sharing light language and bringing in the coding and bringing in the art that goes with it also, how to activate that so that it works, it upgrades your DNA and it aligns your DNA and it repairs your DNA and how it does that. And at the same time, work with the shadow aspects and the trauma aspects and take them through that journey to ground.
Wonderful. Thank you.
So
thank you.
That is where I am at the moment. And at the moment really is about, most of my time is bringing in templates with new light codes for this consciousness union, because we are going through a step, just like Audrey has explained, of uniting all star nations, all angelic bits, and all earth collectives as one. And so working with collective templates at the moment and releasing, assisting those star seeds to release not only personal trauma, but also to release collective soul group trauma, star lineage trauma, because we've come to, all of us have agreed to do this. We've agreed to come through and to clear for our soul group collective trauma, collective karma, which of course we've closed that book. And so these imprints was the next layer, because we've been working through the layers, the personal layer, and now we are on the collective layer. So unless you release the collective imprinting and the collective overlays of the groups that you have undertaken to come and do, you have not cleared your field completely. So there is that exploration taking place so that we can unite as one nation, one United Nations in this planet. And I like that. That
one heart. That's right.
Yeah, it's the only way at the moment. Okay. So that's the work that's, and of course, all these templates have a component of planetary. So I haven't gone away from the planetary work. I'm 1 year stationary, and then the call comes to go and actually anchor the templates in Ireland. And that's where I'm heading in September, actually. And it's to anchor the holographic frequency templates, 44 of them in Ireland.
Wow, very exciting. So thank you, Yuki. I'm going to move on to Kerry because the time is getting on and we still want to do a transmission together. But the planetary light work is really quite important. I think a large part of us are also working as gatekeepers, wayshowers, group keepers, really just holding that energy at the collective level, working through the unity grid, whether we're working with the crystals, the sacred sites, the portals, and in your case, igniting, activating, creating templates for particular areas. That's really just amazing work too. That's something unique that, really just sounds amazing. So we certainly want to hear a little bit more about that at some point from you, if you could put a little bit more up on the events page. But thank you. We'll get back to you. Kerry, so welcome. So Kerry is, as I was expressing a little bit earlier, Kerry is local like me to Cape Town in South Africa. And she's also just doing incredible work as well with her own gifts and all those clairsentient, clairvoyant, clairaudient gifts, and really just journey work as well. So it would be lovely for you to tell us a little bit more, Kerry, about what you're doing.
Thank you, Anrita. Thank you so much. So first of all, I'm not in Cape Town at the moment. I'm in Joburg, so I'm not in my home. Today was just a miracle that it even happened that I could continue my agreement to be here. It was just one of those days. And it made me realize, this is what being human is all about. We all get one of those days. And sometimes we have them every day. And sometimes we have them every hour of the day. And this is what it is to be where we are at the moment. You know, we think about ourselves on a journey towards ascension. But what we forget is that if we're thinking of ascension as the destination, then where are we now? We are now in a place called pre-ascension, transition, the transition from an old reality into the new one. And the almost ironic thing about this is that people have those bad days. People have the confusion and the turmoil and everything else that they're going through. They forget who they are. They move into their chaos. And they land up hoping for this magical day called ascension. So what's happening with now? What's happening with the present? We're losing all of this creative power that we can utilize and that we have available to us. So my work is really to help people ground, and I do a lot of work with star seeds. And my work is to help people ground, but to help them to realize that as much as they want to move out of where they are, they think this is where the chaos is. I just want this magical place called ascension. And my work is to tell them, no, be where you are. But be there fully and be there completely so that you can access your divinity, so that you can access yourself. Because otherwise you're missing. And a beautiful technique is teaching them how to ground. Because I think we hear this word grounding. Now think about who we're telling to ground. We're telling people that are having a difficult time being here to ground. So for them, it's like counterintuitive. You know, for them, they're saying, but I don't want to be here. So how am I supposed to ground? So a really simple thing that I teach people is ground through the planet. However that appears for you, like just get the visual of yourself growing roots, connecting deep, deep, deep into the consciousness of the planet, and then go through Gaia, go through this planetary sphere that we live on, out into the cosmic field around us. You see, rather than going up and out and away, which so many people are inclined to do, get in, ground down, go down and out, right? So it's a new concept of grounding. It's a simple one. And I think many of you will know it is these ridiculously simple techniques that change everything. But we forget them. And I think it is our collective job to make this pre-ascension process simple, with simple techniques, with practical things that people can apply to their everyday lives. Because I've heard people speak before, and I hear the words that they use, and they make me long for this otherworldly place. And then I'm here in my bad day. I'm here in the chaos and the confusion of, I have a bill to pay. How am I going to do this? Yes, I want to go meditate, but I've got a screaming child. You know, life happens. So it's simple, practical, everyday techniques. So people come to me for something that I call a soul reading, which is essentially, it's not a psychic reading. It is a reading in which I connect with that person's memory of who they are. Because when I do that for them, something amazing happens to them. When another person connects in your energy field with the authentic truth of you, it becomes accessible to you. So what people experience over and above whatever I'm relaying to them is a sensation, an actual sensorial experience of, oh, I remember this feeling, or I remember this much love, or being this open. So there is this wonderful time that we are all in. We're grounding. We're remembering how simple and how practical and how available ascension is to all of us. We're moving out of the waiting and into the creating. And this is, you know, the word creating. We know we're creative. We know that we're creative beings, but often we don't create. So if we're not creating, what are we doing? We are reacting. And this is where I find a lot of people, rather than in creation, they're in reaction. So my work is to help them to get out of the reaction into a neutrality, a real God-centeredness, a heart-centeredness and a God-centeredness. And from that state of neutrality, oh man, now they can create because they're moving out of reaction. So it's these practical tools that people need right now to guide them forward. And we may call ourselves the way showers, but you know what? Most of the time when I deal with clients, I'm just humbled. And I'm sure each of you have had that experience. It is the most humbling thing to have a master in disguise, because that's what they all are. Masters in disguise come to you and say, in my case, Kerry, show me, or Kerry, help me, or Kerry, I'm lost, or Kerry, I forgot. And I go, well, I just happen to remember who you are. Watch the light go on for them. And like dominoes, the light goes on for everybody else. So I do these soul readings, and then I do courses with people. And right now I've put all my focus into one course because it is that powerful and that transformational and that important that I've dropped all of my other teachings, all of my other courses, and focused on this one, which is called Higher Heart, Higher Mind. And it's about activating the pineal gland and activating the heart. We all know how to love, but we don't know how to get into the real sacred, neutral love. It's almost a foreign concept for people. Once you're there, I watch people, the lights come on and they go, oh, I always knew that this was possible, but I never knew how to get in there. So the work that I'm doing in terms of teaching is higher heart, higher mind. Activate the pineal, activate the heart, get into a different kind of groundedness, and find the simplicity, find the joy, find the simplicity. It's available for all of us. So I recently wrote, and Anrita, I sent it to you yesterday. I know in your busyness you didn't get a chance to review it, but yesterday was a really big day for me because I released a blog that I've been holding back for 2 months. And I was holding it back for a lot of reasons. One of them was that in order to really be able to spread the word that this blog is about, and I'll share it with all of you now, I had to be able to do at least monthly webinars like this, meditation groups for people. And I wasn't yet ready to do it until yesterday. Yesterday, I got my Zoom membership up and running, and I'm back online. So what this blog post is about journeying this journey of pre-ascension, speeding up the ascension process that we're all on, moving out of waiting into the creating, and allowing for these possibilities to unfold now with grace and with ease. So the blog, you'll find it on my website. It's www.samadhi-speaks. You know what samadhi means? It means at one with. So samadhispeaks.com. And you'll find a little blog tile. You click on blog, and there it is. My latest blog, it's called I Saw a UFO and This Is What They Said. And that's the truth. 2 months ago, I saw a UFO. We had this amazing download, this amazing conversation. And it was all about humanity in the ascension process. So that's where my focus is. Activating the hearts and the minds of humanity to simplify the journey that we're on. Because it's otherworldly, but at the same time, this is our true nature. This is our true essence. And you know what? It's so simple to reconnect. I think we overcomplicate life because we think too much. So, you know, we think, well, I've got to read this book and I've got to attend 5 million courses and I've got to, and all of these things are great. But in reality, each one of us has to walk this journey. No one's going to do it for us. Each one of us has to walk this journey into our personal ascension. And of course, that is the awakening that we're in right now. Come out of the waiting into the action.
I love that.
Well, hopefully I sped things up because I knew that we were running a little bit over time there, Anrita.
Oh, that's so lovely, Kerry. And it's so interesting because this week I've also been focusing on reaction. You know, the first thing is, no matter what's going on, is just accept it. And it's so funny to see how in those moments where you're talking about where it's the consciousness observing unconsciousness, but at the same time, it's those moments of either perceived stress or busyness or whatever it is, rather than that kind of flow. And that flow I talk about is also being grounded, because when we're grounded, we go slowly and gently, and we speak possibly, slowly, and everything just unfolds. And even if there is busyness, it flows, from that busyness quite gently from one thing to the next. And then, of course, there's still those moments, those wobbles, because it's an energetic or cellular clearing that we're still working with, whatever those triggers may be. And it's at that moment to catch yourself. And it's been so interesting for me too, to see what is the reactive, the energy that's still being cleared at that cellular level that's coming up sometimes when something happens. How do you respond? And you talk about, of course, the clients, which of course they all are, being our greatest teachers. Kids are absolutely amazing at that. They just put that on moms here, moms or dads. They really are, they not only press all those buttons, but really they, kind of just shows you where your own reactivity actually still is. And at the moment, it's everything about the first thing in that, rather than react, is accept, because it's that first phase of non-acceptance that we go into, because it's the reactivity only comes when there's non-acceptance. Because no matter what's happening, is we go, if I accept this, or okay, this is very uncomfortable, but this is how it is right now, that we embrace no matter what it is, and no matter what we experience, no matter how uncomfortable it may be, because it's those particular unique experiences that many are still choosing to accelerate their soul growth. And some are expressed along the karmic timelines, and some are expressed along the Christed timelines, as I call it. Or we could talk about the human side or the multidimensional aspects of ourselves. So it's such a balance in bringing it all together. And I absolutely love that, because really, we're talking on different levels here. For the awakened soul, the light worker that's been doing this work for many, many years. And then, of course, we're talking to those that are still waking up, that are finding their way along this path of divine love, and are still working with wounds or healings or victim persecutor consciousness, or those small tools of, how do I ground myself? How do I breathe? How do I come into stillness? How do I find myself in that place of my loving heart? Or how do I activate my loving heart? How do I activate my pineal gland, my pituitary, my hypothalamus? All these things that are done energetically and at a physical level. What I'm finding too with the templates coming online is it's not only, of course, energetic and emotional, but it's also right into the physical level of talking to the hormones, of talking to the enzymes, of being the body channels, where what is coming online is an expression of not only experiencing frequency and energy, but actually being able to communicate quite clearly with the lungs, with the liver, or with the cells, or with the hormones, or with the glands, whatever it may be at that moment that we want to shift into. And it's just such an incredible journey, because I'm seeing a large part of my work moving into that level. And then boom, the very next day I'm out there chatting to the cosmic star beings and Christed ETs. It's just a trip, it really truly is an absolutely amazing time. So what I feel would be really awesome is for us to come together and do a little bit of an experiential transmission as we join together as one heart and one voice, one love, because that's truly what we are as the light workers, walking this path of love and creating this level of this union of hearts. And it's through our collective frequency that, of course, we are affecting and creating change upon this sacred earth. And just before we do that, I wanted to say that I've just launched two. Kiri was talking about, new things that she's doing. And I've just brought online, and it's also out from today, this incredible range of angelic blends, essential oil blends called Soul Sense. So this is based on 12 templates, what I'm calling angelic New Earth templates. And the guidance from the archangels was in to create these beautiful combined pure essential oil blends that are holding the energy of these angelic templates with frequencies such as love and joy and happiness and manifestation and abundance and insight and intuition, and so many also beautiful frequencies or templates or blueprints that are really coming online through the Unity Grid. So I just want to put that out there, that I'm so truly excited about that. And part of my work then with that from late August would also be doing what I call a soul sense facilitator training where we're going to do invocations and affirmations around these angelic templates, working with the archangels, working with the soul sense range for those that may be interested, doing soul sense readings, and also taking it further into what I call soul sense e-modules. And these are then different modules that we can add to the platform of being facilitators and teachers and adding to our own work. I feel at this time the way that workshops have been hosted and courses that we are interested in through the work of others is not so much taking that work and making it ours or sharing it, but simply adding it to our existing toolbox of our own authenticity and gifts and how we're sharing that and bringing that across. So from my side, apart from the fact that I'm putting it out there, this incredible course that I'm hosting, I'd also invite the light workers that have something to share to create e-modules that we can put up together, and we can do it with affiliate links, not only with my own stuff, sending it out there, but also with your stuff that I'd be very happy to host. If you feel that you've got light language transmissions, or if you feel that you have something that would truly be of benefit to the light tribe, we can have a common place, marketplace, so to speak, too. I feel the marketing side is quite important too. And, you know, being able to be fully abundant on every level, including financial. And one of the things that I was looking at there was really how we as the light tribe could come together a little bit more to not only feel that support with one another, but also to experience greater levels of being seen and heard from a business perspective. And some of those ideas that are coming, for example, are creating quotes and putting something up there on Facebook every day, doing little videos and putting that up on Facebook, or doing little YouTube videos. So I put it out there and creating a presence. Just step into your beautiful, authentic soul light and share your wisdom and knowledge, because that's truly what's happening at this time, is we're all stepping into that next level of world service as the facilitators and way showers. And we are here collectively doing it together. And I invite you in every single way that you would like to co-create with us as we all deepen into our gifts. All right. So is there anything else that anyone might like to share? We will have a small place at the end to just say our thank yous and goodbyes, or anything else that we might like to add. But just before we move into this transmission, is there anything that anyone might like to add or share at this time? All right.
Please, if I can.
Yes, Carrie.
Something that I forgot to say, and that I just think is so pertinent at the moment, is that there's a lot of truth seekers. And quite rightly so, people are questioning, and some people have been questioning all their lives, and they've been researching, and they've gone down the rabbit hole, and as we know, some are just beginning. So there is this genre of people called the truth seekers, and I love them, but a lot of them don't yet know or have forgotten that truth seeking needs to be combined with consciousness. Because if that doesn't happen, there's this buildup of anger. There's this buildup of, but how could they do this to my planet? And how could they do this to the animals, the children, the whatever it is? And it's a righteous anger, but of course it doesn't move us forward. So that's something that I'm working on at the moment that I think is particularly beneficial right now for our collective consciousness, is supporting the truth seekers in merging with the consciousness community. Because, you know, a lot of people in the consciousness community haven't been truth seekers. So they don't necessarily know all the stuff, and vice versa. A lot of the truth seekers don't necessarily have access to or know about all this consciousness stuff. So we are two collective communities that are right now needing to merge. Because when we do, oh my gosh, when we merge, exactly, Susie, that. Exactly. Just, can you imagine the power then? And so a lot of my work is supporting those people that are those truth seekers, bringing in the consciousness as well.
Wonderful. And again, of course, it's just going back into reactive, the indignation that comes up, or the anger, or the whatever that is, there's a lot out there. But of course, really, it's just to hold ourselves in neutrality and love. So that is really what we're all experiencing. And then we just have those moments of challenges to see how far that we've actually come along that path. All right, so good. So along this theme of healing and divine love and unity and all these beautiful things that we're talking about, let's just move into just a little bit of breathing, and we'll have about 5 minutes each. We can just go around and just center as we come together, just taking a moment for a moment now just to feel that beautiful energy of love that's radiating from our Christed hearts, our loving hearts, and how we're sending this out to one another just as the light tribe, and how we're coming together as his flames of divinity, as his sons and daughters of God, walking this path of love. And we'll just start with some simple breathing. And I feel the breath is so very important because it really organizes and allows us to deepen into the collective higher knowings as we experience our thoughts, and from this our feelings and our actions. So the breath itself is really the root of all the motion that we experience coming through us and within us to hold our energy in the light of God as the flames of love that we truly are. So we take a moment just to breathe in love and breathe out love. And as we breathe in through the nose, we expand the lower abdomen, and as we breathe out through the nose or mouth, we contract the lower abdomen. Breathing in love, breathing out love. And as we do this, we have a sense of this beautiful diamond, golden, and white flame of divine love ignite and activate within our loving heart. Now moving into every subatomic particle of our beingness, feeling and sensing all the particles of light within our own bodies. As we have a sense too of merging with our beloved I Am Presence, highest aspect of our soul light within the cosmic heart of God. Continuing to breathe in love and breathe out love. And if there's anything that we're still working with or that feels uncomfortable, just breathe in love and hold the breath and breathe out all that is ready to be released. And while we're doing that, we also just take a moment to move the body. Maybe we've just had a busy day, or we need to just stretch the body a little bit. So we move the body in every which way it feels it needs to move. Moving the shoulders, moving the neck, moving the back, maybe moving the lower abdomen. Just feeling and sensing this energy moving through us, and this beautiful diamond, golden, and white flame igniting now to every subatomic particle of our beingness, and spinning subatomic particles in this increased light frequency. We just breathe in love and hold the breath and breathe out all that is ready to be released. Do we have a sense too of each other's energy? Firstly, for those of us as panelists on the New Earth Cosmic Conversations panel, to just have a sense of connecting in this union of hearts with one another. And from here, taking this beautiful diamond, golden, and white light out to connecting to the light tribe, those of us listening to this transmission, those of us listening to the recording, and now connecting into the I Am Avatar consciousness of light, the collective higher light of all awakened souls, feeling, sensing, and experiencing ourselves as love. So we take a moment to energetically or physically place our hands upon our loving hearts as we say to ourselves, I love you, giving our full names now. I love you. I love you. Having a sense of the unity grid, this matrix of light within us, around us, adding our collective light to the collective consciousness. To physical vessels of light and grounding too into the crystal heart of Mother Earth, into the diamond light clusters, and beyond this into the inner Earth sun, to the golden sun too within our loving hearts, into the sun, central sun, great central sun. Through all dimensions of light, we link now into soul and star family. We draw upon the Christed extraterrestrials, the mighty Elohim, the sisterhood of the rose, the angelic realms. And from this space and place of divine love, we call upon our own angelic healing teams to join us now, and it is Archangel Raphael that comes forward as the healing archangel and wraps us in this beautiful evergreen healing flame of light. This evergreen healing flame moves now to every body part and organ needing this healing, needing this light, to the lungs, the heart, the liver, the kidneys, stomach area, the large, small intestine now through each one of the glands, through the base chakra, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and crown chakra. As we feel this healing energy move through our body, through our hands, through our feet, to have a sense of the Kundalini energy activating, igniting, the dormant DNA coming online, this hose of angelic beings along with our starlight of beloved I am presence coming forward to assist us in this now moment. Any level of discomfort we may have on any level of our beingness. And as this occurs, we suck in through the mouth as though sucking in through a straw and breathing out. Aligning into the deepest levels of our beingness, our magnificence and light. To the cosmic heart of God, into the crystal heart of Mother Earth, feeling and sensing now this diamond sphere of light, 54 feet in diameter around us and within us. Flower of life becoming the fruit of life, Metatron's cube coming online. All the geometries of creation, these diamond light grids and NewEarth templates of light. Just hold this energy and knowing of our magnificence and light. As the flames of divinity walk in this path of love. Taking the time when we can to tune in to our own angelic healing team. And taking the time simply to feel and experience these energies of love, of unity, of community. Knowing that we are not alone. And knowing too how greatly we are loved, celebrated, and appreciated. That all is well. All is well. Breathing in love, breathing out love. Ino sono kuina si aia, inkaino ko akia kia.
shi ko la mahohane kino kwani kwa hititu la koya kakoi na kaishi. Kima kwale kiniko kinoeha kikaka iwaishi. Kakura do kwano kwa kone kuriko hayuni kahone mei. Hello kwikiko sha ke hakauhi. Sikihina kina mene kaya pela kaya luha. Kino kabele kakaya niko diko da wakwajale. Kwana mane kwe ale wala waya koya te na. Kwa ke ale. Shua malalau. Iko kana bara ko jamero wala ninaki alle bara piwa. Wala kwala
Es un ata, un perreture, eminekashakakia, ashembe petu tutumyane, una vasa makasha kakuya makakuya, amakakia makasha, asete utayamete tutuyumatya. Emekasha, Emesia mekasha, kakuya mekasha. Esasi. Shem, emekasha, kakuya. Ubansono veneno seya neum. Unana se no seya neum. And I Unemikasha, kekasha, emikasha, language of the kasha, emikasha, emisi mikasha, kakuya mikasha, ita, emene umma, emene kasha, kakuya, emike kia, kash, say it at ite, amata, temete at umekasha, say, Hashem, I say, Shem, Mama say, Shem, Mama say, Emenekasha kakuya, and then ite, umete, galactic cosmic multidimensional use Vedamadam of wa, releasing from the throat. Shem, release. Release, Shem, more shares. Vara, Ivare. Evwa, Shem, Sare. Evwa, Shem. Evwa, deep releasing. Vare, no more kesha. I'ma say kasha. Esevwa. Shem. I'ma Shem. Es así.
From the Monera light beings who were instrumental in creating this universe. Kachang kacha kationg kotomo kahin kachang katia tolo hong kachaban kacha katiang tubung kushima kachang tang kacha katu he kucho kacha katiang te hunwa kacha tibala hinwa kacha kationg yung kacha kantie to kucho o kanchaba kanye kato kachaba kandia bukutu luku kachaba katia la kanwa kachaba kanya unkyo kuchaba he kucho ba nwa kachiman tiake kucho katia la kacha kacha Ukundia bakjala kinju chom ukun be chaketian tolo kuchu ngong be chaketian na mahaki ngong be ya katepo kuchon tapo delo kuchu ngong kuchu bakentian ngong kuchu bakia tala eka chan kitia tolo chan delo kian tolo kuchu ngong kuchu Tela Kumanya Talang Kuchmanya aligning your spine to your soul alignments and allowing it to ground and integrate into your being. We thank you.
Breathing in love, breathing out love. Just feeling and sensing all these incredible energies, activations, multi-dimensional frequencies ignite through and within the dormant DNA into each subatomic particle of our beingness. Breathing in love, breathing out love. And having a sense now of the Christed extraterrestrials stepping forward. The Pleiadians, the Sirians, Andromedans, Arcturians, all of the line. Pleiadians stepping forward to bring in a quantum healing chamber of light. Sirians igniting, activating, bringing in this light grid around the body, the balancing of the divine masculine and feminine frequencies, deep into this reunion of hearts. Holding this energy as we further experience the recalibration between the pituitary and pineal glands, the hypothalamus and thalamus gland. And with this too, the Arcturians coming forward and placing around us a healing cloak of light. Feeling and experiencing these collective, Christed extraterrestrial star key codes, uniting, activating, bringing online whatever it is that we are needing at this moment. To deepen into our healing, to activate and create the diamond's light body, to step into our passions, our heart's dreaming, our heart's joy. To feel and know ourselves with flames of divinity as his master beings of light. Mosono koakia sia ia kiono koakia. Nino sua ia inkaino koakia kia.
Father, Mother God, indwelling holy presence, Lord God Almighty, great and perfect Spirit of love and light, that which is the core, the essence, and the eternal river of life that we are. We call forth the higher self, the soul and spirit of everyone gathered here, and we declare and decree that it is our moment to shine our light and to share our love. Therefore, we hold our brothers and sisters to our hearts wherever they may be, and we bless them, and we love them without condition. And we celebrate the journey of their soul and spirit in this lifetime of lifetimes, recognizing, realizing, remembering, and understanding the spiritual inheritance that we have been called forth to experience and express, to embody and to embrace. Mother, Father God, we are so deeply, truly grateful and thankful for moments such as this that transcend time and space and unify all hearts and all souls together as one. In the name of Mother Earth and Father Sky, in the name of all the elements and all the minerals, plants, and animals of this beautiful realm, we celebrate life, the gift of life, and the gift of spirit, the eternal life within all of us. We give thanks for this blessing. We let it be. It is so. And together we say in our hearts, so it is.
And so it is that each being whose ears hear these words, this love, this light, and this moment, feel and know that they are divine God, Goddess, expressing themselves in human form. Let these ears that hear these words ground the resounding light and truth and sound into the form, the human form that they occupy, and through this human form, down the legs into the feet, into the earth, into the ground that is the consciousness called Gaia. That we find ourselves now collectively anchored here, rooted into the core heart of this planetary consciousness. Let the ears that hear these words remind the body and the heart within that body and the consciousness that drives that body that we truly are one. That we have always been and can only ever be the truth of what we are. One. Samadhi state. One.
Ndika take kato shikai. Itma a eno do kore white he. He ha takai ko he sa shim high. Shim high. Ija ha he hon he. A he ha. A ho. A ni. A wate. O watikai kito. Shim she high. Rado he la ha. Ish sna ha he. Ish sna ha he. Hish sna ha he. Ahu. Ane ha he. Ha. Rete. Ha ha ne he. Hahuri mehi hatu. Ashiki ika ka. Kina ke yi. Ina koi kishi. Wa ma wukui. Hi hu. Shema ha hi. Ha. You are lauratiko. Isla ho. Hu. Shemela ha hi. Asasa. She halale.
Ishem, Shem Shaisha, Shem Shayamasha Shamayasha, Shem Masayasha Mashaisha Shamayasha, Shadivare Turu Telemel, Alemakasha Mikasha, Alemelekasha, Some Turevon no Seane, Uneson no Seanzea, Unezon no Seane. Unene sono seiane uneme kasha kakuya me kasha vare me vare me vide me vare vare me vide me emene kasha kakuya me kash vasse me kasha kakuya anaser per tournere non setvare emene kash kasha kakuya me kash kasaya yema Madera Mekash Kakuya Naturum Bere Emekash Kasu Emekash Sasu Ashahana Hundandai Kum se te dum takto she dum sai dumikesha kakuya makasha sahi taktum ekaki esa simo shares ese samo shares just the fairy kingdom elementals. Esse sim, mon chers. Esse são, mon chers. Esse
One heart, one love, one unified field of light. Inamokonosina ki akino soahia. Imosoahia. Thank you, beautiful hearts, for sharing this sacred space, this wonderful co-creation. Every single one of you joining us as co-creators, and all the wonderful Life Tribe joining us energetically and on the inner planes and through the unity grid of divine love. From our collective heart of one love, we love you. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very powerful. Just very, very powerful. Good. So I think that we are ready to end our session here today. And just as we end, I don't know if there's a platform, if there's something that you've got on that you would like to share, or something that you would like to offer, or have a last word. Literally 30 seconds.
I'll start real quick. We're doing our retreat here, Codes of Creation in Sedona, November 8th through the 11th. So we're taking advantage of that 11/11 portal. You can come join us. Check it out at creationtemple.com/retreat.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Susie.
So I'm offering soul signatures and energy signature artwork. So you'll be getting a heartwork and an activation, a recording, a sound and a light language activation. And so I design it. And so I'll be offering that from this window to the 11/11. So I'll put it on my website as a special gift also.
Thank you, Yukia. Carrie?
I've got the 9th, which is 9th of August, next week, Wednesday, a absolutely free meditation, which we're going to be doing some practical and applicable tips in terms of getting you into your ascension consciousness. So you'll find my details at www.samadhispeaks.com. Click on the contact button, send me an email, and I'll reply.
How wonderful. Thank you.
So you can do that for us, please.
Sure, I'll do it now. samadhispeaks.com. So Samadhi is SAMADHI, samadhispeaks.com.
Wonderful. And we have also sent everyone's website address at somewhere in, I think, the events page at least, and on some of the writings, but you're certainly most welcome to put it there in the Zoom webinar chat that can be picked up, the exact link where things are going. Lou?
Sure. So I'm also doing an event on the 11th of August here in Ireland in West Cork. So that's the afternoon of the 11th, and it's opening to higher energies. And this is a perfect preparation for what comes next for me. And of course, I do one-to-one sessions with people. I'm on Facebook. My website is loumartin.eu. And I want to invite all the teachers here. I have a site called Awakened Spirits Network on Facebook that is particularly to support other teachers in their teaching. So I'd love to have you join me there. So thank you. And I'm on every morning from 9 to 9:30 in Ireland with morning prayers. Thank you.
It's GMT +1. Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lou. Wonderful. Audrey?
I'm doing a call for the 8/8 at Eastern 8 p.m., but international numbers are available, and you can connect with me at my email, hummingbird1211@gmail.com. The website information is there. You said it's posted, and I do private sessions with individuals all around the world. And you can connect, as I said, with me personally on the email, hummingbird1211@gmail.com. On YouTube, there's many, many free messages that were there all through the years. If you just go to YouTube and put the search bar Audrey Light Language, and it'll come up with everyone. So thank you all, beautiful ones. This was so powerful and so beautiful. And I'm so excited because, as they said, unite those lighthouses. How powerful, as the beautiful panelists were saying. It's so, Spirit has been waiting for us to unite because it's so amazingly powerful with that, uniting that light. Think of the individual lighthouses. You put all that light, it's huge, right? The power of that. And it's the time of it, within the divine moment. So beautiful ones. Thank you so much. And thank you, beautiful Anrita, for doing this as well. Thank you all.
Wonderful. Thank you, Audrey. Well, Audrey and I are meeting next Saturday. We're going to be doing something for that August 11 eclipse energy coming through. And of course, we're in the middle of the sandwich between all these powerful eclipse energies at the moment. And that will be at, I think, 12 p.m. Pacific time, but I will send us some details at the beginning of the week, and also just a really wonderful, incredible tele-webinar. What a blessing to have Audrey Light Language and her beautiful gift of sound in that tele-webinar transmission. So truly looking forward to it, of course, with all the frequencies and energies, and feeling right now just so incredibly activated and connected into that one heart and that one. So thank you so much for joining and for connecting as the Light Tribe. So blessings and love. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
God bless
Thank you.
Peace.
Thank you.
Blessings to all.
Much love.
New Earth Cosmic Conversations.